that they're currently in Game 8 of their 14-game match. And all games, except for Game 6, have been ties. So Magnus is currently in the lead. Number 2, Ali Reza Firouzja from France, rated at 2,804. Ali Reza has climbed the charts thanks to a very strong showing in the month of November, where he beat, I believe his score was 6.5 out of 7 or 7.5 out of 8 for the World Cup team chess. And he skyrocketed up the charts. I believe he climbed 4 or 5, perhaps even 6 places. And the impressive thing about Ali Reza Firouzja is that he is only 19 years old, whereas a lot of the other people on this list are in their 20s and 30s. So Ali Reza has been extremely impressive, especially with this recent meteoric rise. And many people predict that he will someday become the world chess champion. Number 3, Ding Liren from China, with a rating of 2,799. I do not know much about Ding Liren, or really most of the guys on this list, so I do not have much to add here. But now we are coming to my second favorite currently active chess player, and that is Fabiano Garwana from the United States, with a rating of 2,792. Magnus Carlsen is my favorite currently active chess player. I've talked about in the past how my ancestry is Norwegian, and I'm like 50% Norwegian, according to the DNA tests and such that I've taken on 23andMe. And my great-grandfather immigrated to this country, the United States, from Skien, Norway. So I've always been a Magnus fan, but Fabiano Garwana, the strongest American player in classical currently, and I have really been enjoying his commentary during this World Chess Championship match between Magnus and Jan. He's been extremely insightful, talking about different lines and positions, and I did not used to be a fan of Garwana. I didn't dislike him, but watching him on the chess.com stream every day over the last week or so has made me a gigantic Garwana fan, and I hope that if Magnus is able to hold on and retain his title as world champion, that Fabiano can be the one to win the next candidates tournament and challenge him. Now we get to the current challenger for the title of world chess champion, and that is Jan Napomiashi. He is from Russia and has a rating of 2,782. I did not know much about Jan before watching this match, but although I'm still pulling for Magnus to win, I have grown to like Jan, and I think he plays a very interesting style of chess, and he actually has put Magnus into a few uncomfortable positions where people thought that he could have pressed for more and perhaps even a win. It's just unfortunately still participating in chess tournaments, which is rare for somebody his age. Next up, from China, rated 2,744 FIDE, we have Wang Ho. Then at 18th overall, one of the men who almost defeated Magnus Carlsen in the World Chess Championship as a challenger, and who actually was leading against Magnus for quite a few games. From Russia, we have Sergey Koryakin with a rating of 2,743. Then at 19, from the United States of America, and somebody that a lot of people are familiar with thanks to his Twitch streaming, is Hikaru Nakamura with a rating of 2,736, although his blitz and rapid rating is much higher than his classical rating. I think he is number 2 in the world for both blitz and rapid, but don't quote me on that. Obviously, Hikaru, big streamer now, during COVID especially, became really popular, and after the Queen's Gambit, when chess started to see a rise in popularity, a lot of people went to Hikaru, and he kind of became an internet sensation. Still is, although it's cooled off a little bit. If you look at a lot of the chess streamers that got popular during lockdown, a lot of their numbers have started to fall off a bit, and Hikaru has not been immune from that. Next at 20, also from Russia, we have Nikita Vidyukov with a rating of 2,731. At 21, from Bulgaria, with a rating of 2,730, we have Veselin Topalov. Another Chinese grandmaster at number 22, we have Wei Yi with a rating of 2,729. At number 23, we have another Indian grandmaster, Vidit Santosh Gujarati, with a rating of 2,727. Number 24, yet another Russian, Dmitry Andreikin, with a rating of 2,724. And finally, rounding off the top 25 and the top half of this list, we have Daniil Dubov with a rating of 2,720, also from Russia. If you guys don't know, Russia has a very rich chess history. Russia and the Soviet Union have produced more world champions than any other country, and I also believe they have produced more grandmasters than any other country. Russia is, I believe, the number one. Yeah, Russia is the number one World Chess Federation or country with the highest average rating across their federation. Extremely, extremely strong country with regards to chess. Now the top player in the bottom half of this list, number 26 overall, Pentala Harikrishna, with a rating of 2,717 from India. At number 27, 700. From the country of Russia, we have Vladislav Artemiev. And the last player with a rating of 2,700 from the country of China, we have Bu Zhengxi, number 40 overall. We are now in the bottom 10 of this list, and at number 41 overall with a rating of 2,699 points from the Ukraine, we have Anton Korobov. Below Anton from the Czech Republic, we have David Navarra with a rating of 2,697. At number 43 overall from the country of England, we have Matthew D. Sadler with a rating of 2,694. Sadler, famous for beating Magnus Carlsen when they were playing some youth matches back in the day. They did a little funny interview on YouTube on the Chess24 YouTube channel that you can check out if you have any interest. Our final entrant from the country of Spain, we have David Anton Guiaro with a rating of 2,693. And 45th overall, we have Salah Salem from the United Arab Emirates with a rating of 2,690. And now we are getting into our final five. From Poland with a rating of 2,686, we have Grandmaster Radoslav Wojtaszek. was Pontus versus Ari back in 1992. But as soon as black made this move, there were no games in the database with this position. So I push my pawn attacking the knight. Black brings his knight to d4, which is a blunder. I go from 0.8 to plus 4.8. I capture, black captures, and then I capture that pawn with my queen. So pretty good position for me right here, plus 4.5 according to, plus 4.4 according to Stockfish 14 at a depth of 22. Black brings the bishop out, which further improves my position. I bring my bishop out. Black brings his knight, and then it wants me to capture here. Now I missed this move for a few turns because I'm interested in. I missed this move, but I castle. It's a bit of an inaccuracy, but not a terrible mistake according to the engine. Now the engine wants black to retreat this knight because the engine wants me to capture here and double black's pawns on this file. But black brings the bishop down, and again I do not capture. I attack the bishop because my thinking is, the bishop can no longer retreat because I'm pinning the knight, or I'm pinning the king. And if black takes, then I take and I win the bishop. So that happens. Boom, boom. And again, it wants black to retreat the knight, but black pushes the queen, which is an inaccuracy. It takes this from a 4.4 to a plus 7.4 in my favor. And then I bring this pawn up. It wants me to capture here because I didn't want to just lose this knight and let the queen come in here and cause damage. So I pushed this pawn. My thinking was, protecting the knight so the queen, can't just do that. A bit of an inaccuracy. Well, actually, that's a blunder. I dropped from 7.4 to 2.9. But black then pushes the b pawn, and that's a blunder. And finally, I do what the engine wants me to do and capture the knight on h6. Black captures back, doubling the pawns on the h file. I was a little bit concerned about the rook being able to come in and capture here, or come into this file or this file. So I push this pawn, giving my king a little hidey hole if need be. It wanted me to retreat the queen to here, but yeah, I make a little hidey hole for my king. And then black pushes the h pawn. I push my a pawn. I'm not sure. I think I wanted to exchange here. I think I wanted to push this here like this, and then have a capture, and then bring my rook up. I think that's what I was thinking, and then have the rook and the pawn guarding my knight. But black castles, which takes me from a plus 4 to a plus 9.5 right there, which was a blunder because, as you can see, it's actually a plus 10 now, but it's a blunder because, as you can see, I get a free pawn right there with a check. It wants the king to move Obviously, black made some really puzzling errors that made my life a little bit easier, but I think I could have won this game even if black, played some of the